Most time travel stories follow a predictable geometric loop. A hero leaves their present, observes the future, and makes a safe return home to their exact starting point. The Cave of 2099 deliberately shatters that return path, preventing the loop from ever closing. By mapping the story's architecture, we can see how it uses a comforting setup and a clear physical boundary to set the stage for its final revelation. A narrative trap requires a convincing sense of security. The storyteller must establish an emotional baseline that feels stable enough to make the eventual collapse feel earned. The story begins on a quiet, sunlit provincial beach in the 1990s. An 11-year-old boy from Manila stands by the water, taking in a pristine environment far removed from his usual city life. This nostalgic setting acts as a psychological anchor. It uses the visual language of a peaceful childhood memory to lower the audience's guard. Then, a mysterious girl appears by the shoreline. The wind blows through her hair as she delivers a line that suggests a prior connection the boy doesn't remember. "I've wanted to meet you for a long time." The next day, the two children stand at the mouth of a dark, imposing cave. Suddenly, a cold mist physically swirls around the boy's arms, raising goosebumps and creating an immediate, eerie chill. That sudden drop in temperature marks the point where the grounded, sunny rules of the province give way to something else entirely. By establishing this feeling of safety first, the story ensures that the jump forward feels like a hostile invasion of the boy's world, rather than a whimsical curiosity. As the boy steps out of the cave, he faces a sweeping reveal of a towering, futuristic dystopia. The vertical 9:16 aspect ratio of the storyboard emphasizes the scale, with towering architecture and hovering vehicles stretching upward into an infinite, suffocating sky. The color theory here severs the connection to the 1990s. The warm spectrum of oranges and yellows disappears, and a sterile palette of heavy blues and silvers replaces it. The citizens of 2099 appear unsettlingly uniform. Passers-by, from a girl with a sharp bob to an older man with long hair, feature flawless, mannequin-like faces that show no emotion. Their clothing, seamless, pocketless silver silk, reinforces the feeling of an alien and rigid society. This sterile world-building isolates the protagonist. His confusion and physical presence mark him as a fragile anomaly in a mechanical timeline. Amidst the grand scale of the 2099 city, the story stays focused on the internal, localized reaction of an 11-year-old. He ignores the sci-fi marvels surrounding him, showing a reaction that feels authentically grounded in his own reality. He tells the girl he cannot stay, simply because his brother is waiting for him to come home for lunch. This creates a divide between the audience's view of the future and the boy's naive priorities. This mundane motivation drives the dramatic irony of the scene, grounding the high-concept setting in the simple needs of a child. The boy walks back into the cave, an action that aligns with the audience's expectation of a resolution and a return to the safety of 1990. But as he exits, the visual cues shift. Heavy shadows and the lingering blue palette from the future signal that something has failed. He finds his brother's house completely abandoned. The door is ajar, and dust motes settle quietly in the stagnant air. The streets are empty. The province has become a ghost town, defined by a heavy, deafening silence. Looking at the dust and the silence, the boy begins to realize that while he moved backward through the cave, he did not move backward through time. The absence of a way back strips away the typical safety nets of the genre, leaving only the reality of an inescapable psychological horror. The realization becomes absolute when he finds one last remnant left behind in the dirt of the empty town.